see Desperate Housegirls, released by Iroko, to be the turning point. That is, I think that was one of the first films that Desmond Elliott directed. And I feel like that, at that point, that was the turning point where it was now like, this is new London, this is new Nollywood, this is how we do things now.
Yeah.
We don't waste time. We don't waste scenes.
Time in Nollywood movies.
We've discussed it previously. Wow. It's mad. We don't waste time. We don't do more than 2 parts. That doesn't happen. Everything is nice and neat, and everything has a script. Unlike old Nollywood and some of the YouTube ones. Well, a lot of the
YouTube part 8 in some films. I don't know why I stayed for so long, but I did.
I think that's when the split came, because then you have old Nollywood movies, mostly romance, Cinderella type ones, and all the things we've talked about. And then I think new Nollywood stories are a lot more varied.
Yes.
They still do the Cinderella thing sometimes, and they still do the romance drama.
It'll always be there.
But if you look at the films on Netflix, on Iroko, on Prime mostly, those are made for international viewers.
Sure.
Even though Nollywood itself is international, the Caribbeans love Nollywood. I used to meet people that were like, "Oh my God, have you watched Beyond? Tell me, have you watched this? Have you watched that? Have you like?" We are already international, but being international and receiving international acclaim, we all know about Lionheart. It was almost nominated for Best Foreign Film. Like, that is the highest honor ever.
Yeah.
So to make it to a standard that internationals would love, let's be honest, white people. Let me just say it. That white people would love. This is really like hypocritical because our guest is white.
Awkward.
To make it up to that standard, it has to be a certain kind of way that is not inherently Nigerian. Which is, I don't. We just keep we keep like dumping on New Nollywood, but we appreciate and we love you, New Nollywood.
We do.
I mean, there are so many other stories to tell, but I think we've talked about the most common ones.
Yes,
right. Let's move on to the second part of this podcast episode. What is your favorite film?
Favorite Nollywood film?
Yeah. Well, duh.
Well, I don't know if I could. I think I can pick a favorite actress-ish.
I'm going to ask you that after. But film is the most important one.
I can't pick one. What's your favorite Nollywood?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. Films that I can watch over and over again. Yeah. I can watch... What's it called? Carol the Shoe Seller?
Oh, yes, Carol the Shoe Seller.
That's a good film.
That is a
good film.
There's
Moment of Truth with Choma Chukwuka. We haven't mentioned Choma Chukwuka.
Oh, we have not mentioned Choma. Choma Chukwuka usually just always suffered.
She's like Black Bra, White Angels,
all those
Stephanie Okereke, all of the sort of.
What about your favorite actor/actress? Actress and actor.
Favorite actress, definitely Mercy Johnson.
Yeah,
I feel like that's just with her sheer range of things that she can do. She's
so good, and I think Mercy Johnson is one of the rare few that is the same scripted and unscripted.
That is true.
You can't tell that she's being scripted because she makes it so natural. So, best actor.
That one's a bit more difficult, I think.
There's so many. Choose one. The most.
I can't. I used to like Ken Eriks, but some of his newer films are a bit...
You know what? Ken Eriks is also another person that can deliver scripted and unscripted.
Yeah. Ken Eriks is... I'd say Ken Eriks.
Ken Eriks is really good.
I'd say
that dude does. And you know what? I feel like he's also... Mercy Johnson does this less so. But I think he's also he's a new Nollywood actor, definitely. Mm-hmm. He's not an old Nollywood actor. He's one of those that walks both the type of Aba, Enugu, Asaba type films that you find on YouTube, which are, let's be honest, of lower quality. And it's not...
I mean, you can find a gem amongst them, but the majority of them are
just not great. But he walks the line from that as well as new Nollywood films, and he's so comfortable in either of those two.
Yeah.
So, I get you with Ken Eriks. Okay.
I'll rebound it back to you. Who would you say is your favorite actress?
My Stephanie Okereke. From day! I know she doesn't act as much. Yinka loves Mercy Johnson.
I see Mercy Johnson and Yinka. I'm going to ask a really controversial question. I think as growing up in Nigeria and with old Nollywood, the one question that would divide a room quicker than anything else is, who do you prefer between Omotola and Genevieve?
Yes.
Why was that such a thing?
Because it was intense.
Such a thing?
I still can't choose. I cannot choose. I just can't.
And
They're
you
both
always
great.
judge someone's answer like, oh, I mean, okay. If that's what you like, you know.
But yeah, choosing favorite actors, favorite films is different because you have just so many.
I mean, it's nearly the same story each time, but it is really hard to pick one that you would say, oh yes, this one movie
I have a favorite
out.
movie.
What's your favorite
It's from New Nollywood, ironically.
What's it called?
Ties That Bind. The one with Omotola. The one where she kept having children, but she couldn't carry them to term. And then there's this beautiful shot in the movie where she goes to where her children are buried. And then there's like a little pan. And then you realize just how many children she's buried.
Oh.
It was, again, in the creation of New Nollywood. That was one of the films that contributed to it. That is definitely one of my favorite films. So, okay, let's round down. What kind of stories do you want to see from Nollywood? Are you perfectly catered to, or...
I think I want to see new Nollywood take on old Nollywood, and I want to see it match up. So I want to see a new Nollywood film that I would almost think is old Nollywood. I want to see like a new Nollywood take on an old Nollywood classic. Like old Nollywood classic, World Apart,
Why did we forget that brief time in Nollywood where there were children witches?
Was possessed.
Yes, and every single person was possessed. But that was very short. It was formative.
There weren't that very many. Yeah. I don't think there were enough movies of it for it to be its own
Mount
trope,
Zion
but they
films,
definitely,
man. Mount Zion
they definitely
films.
came out there. But I want to see something like that in New Nollywood. I want to see something that old Nollywood had taken and almost perfected and bring it into the new age and see these new faces do it and see how they'll take it on. But obviously I want to see them do it well.
Good. And finally, where do you see the future of Nollywood going?
I think Nigeria as a whole, we're very innovative people. I think once you give us one thing and you sort of allow us into the door, anything is possible. Like you won't have imagined, if you go back 5-10 years, you wouldn't have imagined a Nollywood film on Netflix or on a service like Netflix. You wouldn't have imagined a whole channel. So Rock Studios? Rock on Sky, for goodness sake, where it's constantly Nollywood. So there isn't no way that I'll say, okay, yeah, they're definitely going to be here by this time. Their growth will be something that no one will be able to predict, really.
Nice. Okay, with that as the final words, we're going to take a break and then come back with the guests. Hello and welcome back. So I've hyped this guest up. Tyler, do you think? Who are you?
Sorry, I'm bad. Yeah, name's Tyler. I am probably the most inexperienced person you could get for a Nollywood film experience, but as I said to you guys, my main bulk of experience comes from occasionally popping in, seeing yous watching Nollywood films.
Tyler's my sister's boyfriend, and we watch a lot of Nollywood in this house, and whenever Tyler's around, we still stay watching Nollywood movies. So Tyler, tell us, what do you think about Nollywood?
No. That was a bad start.
Be honest.
Me coming from a more, I guess, Hollywood traditional background, my heavy focus that I have when I see it is about the quality of sound and the quality of cinematography. Again, that doesn't take away from a storyline or any cultural cues here or societal involvements. But 9 times out of 10, especially with the YouTube video films that you watch a lot, I'm just like, oof.
Well, I mean, we're like that too, though. But we're able to sort of see past it. So he mentions the cultural parts of it, and we're able to see into that.
Last episode, we did sort of speak about the pitfalls of Nollywood. And yeah, we mentioned sound, we mentioned cinematography, we mentioned so many things. And it isn't, but it could be better. Do you have experience in watching the more refined Nollywood?
Honestly, I can only think of one film that I've watched, and again, that was in 2 parts, and that was a big love story one. And yeah, that would be it essentially, to be honest. Other than that, it has been a lot of the bulk of YouTube / classic Nollywoods
type things.
Yeah.
What is the movie you saw?
Mr. and Mrs.
That's the one.
Oh, Mr. and that is another contributing to the new Nollywood type of movies. When it first came out, it did something interesting. It was different, and that, along with some of the films we've spoken about, those convalesced and created the new Nollywood that we see now. So, did you like it?
Compared to the other ones,
Mr. and Mrs. is on YouTube, and it's also on Prime. So, Mr. and Mrs. is one of the films I say contributed to new Nollywood. So around the times, lots of films were coming out that were doing something different than the way it used to be, and that down the line created new Nollywood. Did you like it? Can you remember the storyline?
Yeah, no, it was, again, it's lovers kind of becoming estranged, the male partner in particular being a little too, for lack of better words, traditional, chauvinistic character. And then, yeah, as it came into the more later part of the film, there's the clear progression of the missus, I guess, being more confident in herself and showing more respect for herself, and that comes out in how she treats her husband, and then, yeah, there's a big kind of ultimatum at the end, and he ultimately sees the error of his ways as she sees her character, like as she explains why her character is so bad towards him and such.
Yeah, it was a really good film. What do you think that film was saying, and all the other like snippets? What do you think those were saying about Nigerian society?
Right, so again, it's very different on a societal level to, again, Hollywood. It's kind of, I'd say, a couple decades back. In terms of what values or views they're putting across, and not to say feminism in particular, but power to women, as it's like individualism. What's the word for it? It's like empowerment. There we go. That's the one. Thank you. Nice word there. Nice word. Yeah. So it's about in Nigerian society, that idea that the woman is not just a set role of you do these things, I know, cook, clean, much like I was saying previously about it being a couple of years back in Hollywood, that would have been very much the same setup as well. The male and the female had a specific role. Not to say that it completely shatters that in this film, but it enlightens the idea that a woman is not just a woman. She has a lot of power in a relationship that you just need to work into together, and that you need to respect the rights and goodness of your partner or women in general. No,
that's really interesting, because he is right. You watch some of these Nollywood movies some days and you're like, what is this nonsense? Are we in 1985? Yes, 1985. And then we're only now catching up in, as we said, cinematography, video production, editing, sounds. So what we should try to do is try and get Tyler to watch like an old
Nollywood film
and see what he says. But it is really interesting. So you don't have a lot of experience, but what do you like anything about Nollywood? The ones you watched. Obviously, he doesn't have a great selection, because we will watch trash and we would enjoy it.
And we will enjoy it. And we'll make fun of trash and enjoy making fun of the trash. That's the fun of
the issue is not that we're watching trash. It's just that Tyler's watching trash too.
I don't know the difference. I'd say for me, in particular, with the films that I've seen, come across, watched here and there. See, I can't tell, because it might be a specific cultural thing as well, but the exaggeration in acting.
Oh yes, you say that a lot.
Unbelievable anger exaggeration, like when a woman is angry in a film, her eyes will fall out of her face. and there'll be a close-up of her face.
Yes,
going like, whoa.
so you can see it.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. And I think this comes back into old Nollywood, new Nollywood that we're talking about. We exaggerate as Nigerians.
Yes.
Maybe as Africans. We're loud, we're
loud.
proud, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
will hear us. We do things in a big way. And I don't know if this is just Nigeria or the rest of Africa, but we are flashy. I think that's a Nigerian thing.
I think it's a Nigerian thing.
We're flashy and we want everyone to know about it. And as he said, if someone is sad or angry, you're gonna know about it. There's nothing.
There
It's
is
not
no
subtle.
subtlety.
But here's the issue. There's no subtlety in real life. And that comes across in our films. Obviously, someone's shouting, someone's gonna faint from anger, someone's having a stroke, but really they're just like mildly angry. So that is a very interesting thing that you've picked up upon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, again, if I keep comparing back to Hollywood, that's my an emotion tends in a film tends to be elicited through an action as opposed to like a facial reaction. You know, where it's just instant. Boom! The sole focus in Nollywood doesn't seem to be on any specific physical or like physical cues or gestures or like the setting of a room or like the tone you can put on a canvas of a video to give it a tone. The sole focus just seems to be on the individuals that you're on at the moment, which is I can't hate on it, to be honest. It reminds me very much of like UK soaps, you know, Coronation Street, Emmerdale. It has a very, very similar cinematography style. There's less focus on the environment and more on the people, which is really interesting.
That is fascinating. Is there any more questions we can ask you to skim your very light knowledge? This is my sister's fault. Why does she not educate this boy on good Nollywood films?
Ask the boy
Terrible.
about when I suggest a Nollywood film. But
I
think it's good to have a different take on it because you will, like you said, we're in the culture.
Yeah,
we
we
won't
don't know.
see anything different because that's what we're used to. That's what we see
That's
every
what
day.
we've
That's
grown
our
up.
lives. That one shouting because her bag's falling. Like, babes, why are you shouting?
Because she's upset.
It's not that. Pick it up. Pick the bag up.
But, sorry, it's just a bump in. Like, I think it very much goes hand in hand with the development of the industry. So if you look at silver screen Hollywood, like you're very early, you talk
40s.
just before the talkies were like when the talkies first started coming out, just post Charlie Chaplin kind of time. The acting was so heavily exaggerated. And there wasn't really a focus on the mise-en-scène either. There's no environment cares there. The sole focusing was on the people and their reactions. And you had women like, fainting or like eyes popping out angry of that time. And it was only as that was developed over decades and decades, and then you've got now over a century of that industry, there is all this extra stuff that they're able to put into it. And I think Nollywood absolutely has the potential for that as well. It hasn't been developed in the same way, and it isn't the same audience either.
That's new Nollywood though.
That
subtle.
That is new Nollywood. That's what that's where they're trying to get to.
I think they've gotten there ish. Like, we could be better. I've got some games, but I don't think Tyler would be good at that game. Those games. I know, Tyler, do you have a favourite actress?
Just all of them.
Yeah, so we're gonna say goodbye to Tyler. I'm gonna have him on later after we show him a film and catch his reactions, because what he said is actually quite interesting, and we would never have thought about that ourselves because
That's
obviously
true.
we're in the culture, we don't know what it is. So yes, are we asking the white man about his opinions on Nollywood? Yes. Come and beat me. All right, back again for part 3. Let's juice this up. Let's juice it. I want to play some games. And this game is called Typecast. I'm going to give you a scenario, and you're going to tell me who the actor is. Actress is.
I will love this.
Okay.
I love this already.
Number 1. I just came back from the abroad. I drink and I smoke. Who am I?
You are Jamaica.
I am Jamaica, but I'm a girl.
Ooh.
Time is ticking.
Inyadu.
Fail.
Ooh.
I'm Mona Lisa Tyndall.
What?
Yes.
She's always so respectful.
What?
Iniedo is not.
Well, yes.
Iniedo is ras.
Antonia, listen to me.
Ras.
Listen to me. This is my podcast here, and it's Mona Lisa Tyndall.
Wow.
It is. Can't you? She always used to be the girlfriend that just came back from America.
Oh right, yes.
See, we could have just saved ourselves this entire argument.
Okay, next question.
Number 2, I love my brother's plot of land.
Chinwetalago.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I love my brother's plot of land, and also his wife.
Chinwetalago. My answer does not change.
All right. That is 1 for you. That's 1/2, because I am not giving you any other for the first one.
Fine, I'll accept it.
Number 3, I am the prince, but I am a very nice guy. Who am I?
Oh, I was going to say Macazonia, but definitely not a nice guy.
But yeah, I'm lovely. I'm lovely.
Not
to be...
so.
No.
Not so, Jamie.
Nope.
More information.
More information. I have a deep voice. Ooh.
I can see his face.
Who am I? This is how my voice sounds. Don't. The answer is Yule Dolce. I feel bad.
I saw his face.
Too.
That voice.
So
Hello.
that's
obviously
1/3.
Yule Dolce.
That's 1/3. 3 more. I mean, you're not gonna win. Who am I? I'm gentle, but I also fight.
A gentle Jack.
That would be too easy. I'm gentle, but I'm also Jack.
I thought that was the point. It's funny. Carry on.
Let me give you another hint. Act in a lot of action movies. More clues?
Yes.
I'm tall and dark. Do you want the answer?
Is it Jamaica? No.
No. Sylvester Madu.
I don't know who that is.
Watch more action movies. I don't know. He is so prolific. Number 5, and you're not doing good at this.
I just think you have very specific people in your mind, so whatever.
So number 5, I'm fair, and I'm an understanding girlfriend.
Okay, clear.
I'll accept. The answer was Rita Dominic.
Fair enough.
Last one, and number 6. Let me remind you, it's now 1/5.
2, you said you'll accept. Okay, clear.
Alright. I've mentioned her previously. I speak very good English.
What?
The Queen's English.
Okay.
No. But another clue, I'm a bit of old Nollywood.
That tells me nothing. We literally just covered that there's so many of them. Another clue. One more clue?
Oh, you can be so upset. I act in a lot of plays.
Please.
Do you want to know the answer? I could keep going.
Yeah, one more.
I'm friends with Kate Henshaw.
No! God!
Come on. I'm in old Nollywood. I'm friends with Kate Henshaw. I speak very good English. I act in a lot of plays.
Been back in the...
Yes!
I was thinking of Domitila.
Ah!
I win!
You do not.
It's 3 out of 6.
So what? You get a C? Good.
C is a pass, but alright.
Alright. The second game, make your own Nollywood movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who's your female lead?
Mercy Johnson.
Okay, chill out. Right? Think about it a bit more.
No, she'll be fine in any movie I come up with.
Choose your male lead.
Let's spice things up. I've never seen them in a film together. Mike Kesorie.
And Mercy Johnson.
Exactly.
What about that film where she was a twin or a triplet?
With Mike Kesorie?
Yeah, I think that was one of his pivotal roles, that he was always the angry guy. And I think that was one of the roles that established him as a male leading man.
Mike Kesorie.
Oui, c'est vrai? Yes, Mike Kesorie. But whatever.
I don't know.
Okay.
That is who I pick.
So your male lead. Who's your villain? You cannot choose Patience Zoko.
That's just mean. Male or female? Can it be?
It can be any.
Chinwetalago. He does it well.
Okay.
In
All
him
right.
I put my trust.
I'm intrigued. Where does this take place? City? The village? Is it a historical? Does it take place near the river? Does it take place in, I don't know, Calabar? Where does this take place?
So they're wearing shit, but not
Vivid.
very good ones.
Oh, beautiful. Very vivid. Okay, choose your bad thing. What is terrible about this movie I'm making?
They sing.
Oh, you came to play.
I did, but at the same time, I did not come to play.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
All right, last one. Choose who dies at the end.
Mike is already.
Oh, spicy.
He's the male lead, but she doesn't have to end up with him.
All right, tell me the story of this Nollywood
I have
movie.
no idea.
It's got Mercy Johnson in the lead. She's obviously gonna be crying a lot.
Obviously.
Michael Zoria gonna be very angry.
He gonna be angry.
Chiwe Talagu
Gonna be stealing.
They sing. Does Chiwe Talagu sing?
Chiwe has to sing.
Oh my god.
Switch it out.
Mercy Johnson is obviously the princess.
I will allow it. Yes.
And Michael Zoria is the poor papa.
Yes.
So he schemes to marry the princess who's in love with the poor guy.
No.
She's not in love with the poor guy?
She doesn't like him at all. He's not a nice guy.
What kind of story are you telling?
He's not.
Who will watch your movie?
Everyone. Because they sing.
Oh. Oof.
It might not be great. And it might be that weird dubbed singing that they do.
Oh,
that
it's
is
always
what
gonna
is
be dubbed.
That is what is terrible about this film. Is that weird when it's a proper soundtrack in the background and they're just moving their lips. That's what we're working with here.
And the songs are in
English.
Oh,
Not Chiwe Talagu's though. It's a mix of both.
okay. Yeah, obviously.
And they might not meet in the same film to most people.
Yeah, clearly.
But that's just the way I want it.
You've built a crap Nollywood movie. That's where our game ends. Goodbye. Alright, thank you everyone for listening to my podcast. I will be coming out with episode 3 sometime in the future.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.